All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? What's the deal? Welcome to another episode of Red Kingdom on All Sports, All Plays Network. I'm your host, Greg, joined by my co-host, RJ.
How's it going?
It's going good, sir. And on this windy day in Kansas City,
Yeah.
those that don't live here, the wind is blowing crazy on this Saturday. The Chiefs, so Deebo Samuels requested a trade from the 49ers. 49ers are still looking for offers.
Yeah.
And so when this news first came out, I was like, the Chiefs have 2 first-round draft picks. I'm sure if Brett Veach called the 49ers and said, hey, we'll give you 2 first-rounders.
Head up trade.
Yeah, just said, hey, we'll give you the 2 first-rounders. I'm sure John Lynch would say, yeah, I like that. Let's go ahead and do the trade.
A nice 29 and 30 pick.
Yeah. So my question is then, should the Chiefs trade for Deebo?
We could use them. They may have to sweeten. The 40 San Francisco might want KC to sweeten the pot a little bit on top of the 29 and 30 pick. But I'd love to have him here. I think he might be too rich for our blood here in Kansas City for the moves that we've already made up to this point.
Okay.
But he is a heck of an athlete and definitely is a ticket seller.
He is. We have Hardman, and he's kind of does the jet sweeps and everything, kind of what Deebo does, but Deebo is more of a physical runner.
Yeah.
So he can do the jet sweeps. He can line up in the backfield on 3rd and 2. You hand it to him, he's going to get 2 yards. And
he's a complete football player, which is why his price is going to be a little high.
Yeah.
He's a complete player. He can also return and things like that, can he?
Yeah, he can do punts.
He's a complete all-around baller.
Yeah, he's all-around player. I think he will work great in this offense, just like what he's done with the 49ers. He literally carried that team. It was him and that defense.
Yeah, instant offense.
That carried that 49ers to the NFC Championship game last season. So he's very important to their team. I feel like the reason why he doesn't want to be there anymore is because he doesn't believe in Jimmy G as a quarterback.
He has a long-time solution for quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's also being persuaded by the other large wide receiver contracts that are out there. He's looking around like, hold on now.
Mm-hmm.
I can give me 20 a year too. I can give me 23 a year too somewhere.
Yeah. He can get the $120 million deal that Tyreek Hill got easily.
Okay.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Yeah. So now the Chiefs trade for him. I'll have to look at what his contract is. I think he still has 1 year left on there. So they would pick up that. And then they'll have to figure something out for next season. Um, he signed a 4 year. So he signed a 4 year, $7 million deal. So this had to be last year. If I'm looking at this right.
That's right.
Unrestricted free agent in 23. So he has this season, and then next year he would be a free agent. This would be a good move, I think, for the Chiefs. They don't need Deebo Samuel, but he can add to what they already have. And then, like I said, they can figure something out contract-wise next year if they still want Deebo to be on the team.
Right.
If not, another name that was floating around was AJ Brown out of Tennessee. Yeah, that was another one.
Yeah.
People said, "Hey, this might happen," and again, another great, wide out. He knows how to catch. He's Tannehill's favorite target. I believe that's why Julio Jones got less targets and less catches, because Tannehill's favorite is AJ Brown.
Yeah.
So if that happened as well, I think AJ Brown will work in this offense as well.
And Julio is still sneaky productive too.
He's still sneaky productive.
Yeah.
Yep. So if we could get Julio, that would work too. Definitely. Especially now that we have an offensive line that's really good.
Yeah.
Like there's no weaknesses now on this offensive line. The line is solid.
The offensive line is going to get better every year, because that collection of players, that group of players, doesn't change often. So the longer they stay together, the more they can just mow people down and open them holes.
Right, exactly. And I like how physical the offensive line is compared to the previous years. I feel like during the Super Bowl years, the Chiefs' offensive line, they could pass block very good, but they couldn't run block. They couldn't really blow people off the line. Like, we're gonna blow y'all off the line. We're gonna get 5-6 yards every time we run.
Right.
Now I feel like the Chiefs have the offensive line where now they can start bullying people. And when you have a running back like Ronald Jones, you need that kind of line. That can
smash mouth football for at least a few downs, at least a few downs per possession. Nice little smash mouth football, because that keeps the defense honest. Just to it keeps them honest. The D-back safety makes them watch in the backfield. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it keeps them honest. They can start running those. You can still run the jet sweeps and all that. And now it'll make the defensive line not pin their ears back as much and focusing on, Pat.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was a lot of times people knew that we were passing.
Oh, yeah. We're a trigger happy offense for sure.
Yeah, it's like they knew. It's like, it's 2nd and 4 or whatever, but the Chiefs are still going to pass the ball. They're not going to run it. And so now with Ronald Jones, and then you have Clyde in there to kind of switch up the pace. Now the Chiefs have the running backs in place to where they can establish a decent run game, keep the opposing defensive lines and linebackers honest, and that'll open up more big plays.
Yeah. It takes a complete collective effort, and having a big, strong running back to to go along with the big, strong guys up front, that is scary for the offense. I mean, for the defenses, because what the defenses are doing are going more towards lean, speedier guys instead of the big guys that are actually like hard to move around off the line. Most defenses are slimming up. So if you keep your big tanks up front, you should be able to really control the pace of the game, whether you want a 20-play drive or whether you want to just air it out and have a 3 or 4-play drive. And that Andy Reid is going to have fun with all of these options. He's going to have fun with all these options.
He's going to have fun. And we will miss Tyreek Hill's speed. Of course, there's no one that's going to be as fast as him.
Right. Take the top off and run that streak route.
Right. Yeah. But I like Valdez-Scantling.
He'll run it. I think people just have to. He'll have to catch a few over the shoulder balls for the fans, and then they'll be like, "Okay, I like this guy."
Yeah. Valdez-Scantling is good. Juju is good as well. He was just playing with the aging Big Ben, so that it makes it seem like Juju lost a step, but I don't feel that way. It was just. Roethlisberger was on his last legs and couldn't throw the ball as deep as he once could. So it made Juju's numbers look worse than what they actually are. So, so if Deebo comes, that's awesome. I would love it. But if not, I like the people that we have now.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll work out. Looking forward to the draft. The draft is this Thursday. So if the Chiefs do no trades before then, they have 2 first-round picks. So they have the 29th and the 30th. On our last episode, we kind of went over guys that we like and all of that. What position do you think the Chiefs should target
in the draft
picks? Yeah, should they get the pass rusher just right off the first round or the corner, or should they still focus on offense?
I think they should go with the same format that they kind of been going with. They kind of they don't really stick to one side of the ball. They kind of just go to where the need is at that moment. And I think we could use, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, definitely defensive end, edge rusher, and corner or safety. I think they should address those positions with the picks. And to keep both sides of the ball progressing at the same speed. I would hate for them to spend, 6-7 picks on one side of the ball. Because, we've been there before. We've showed up and watched them score 40 and couldn't stop anybody. Then we watched the other way, too. So,
yep.
and when I hear Veach's, when I hear his pressers, he's excited. And that's enough to make me excited because, he understands this thing on a different level. So, he's excited about what's to come. And I'm right there with him.
The way Brett Veach's mind works is different from everybody's. And so people don't understand, right now, what's going on until some time passes. And then it's like, oh, well, yeah, that was great. And so, because when he's been called to redo something, he's redone it perfectly. When it was time to redo the offensive line after the Super Bowl loss, everybody's like, what are these picks? And why are we getting Orlando Brown Jr. and all this? And it worked out perfectly. You
gotta pay those guys up front. Like the casual fan, they're hard pressed to believe that. They're like quarterback gets this much, receivers get this much, running back gets this much, linebackers, corners. It's like those big guys up front. You gotta pay them. You gotta respect them. And I think we should spend a couple of picks on the D line and O line.
Okay.
They don't have to be high picks. They could be second day, but you gotta get some big bodies in there because just in case anybody goes down.
First round, they're not gonna be high enough to get Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. I think he's gonna end up going to the Lions on that second pick. But if he fell all the way down to 29, that would be great for the Chiefs. They can get him, but honestly, I don't think he's gonna fall that far. So now you're looking at Kobe Bryant, the corner out of Cincinnati. I wouldn't be mad if they used the first round pick on him. I know some people are saying he's kind of a second round pick, but I think he's a good. He's had 7 picks the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, that points to IQ, and a lot of these guys that they call raw is almost it's a nice way to say they don't have the IQ, they don't have the experience behind their skill level. So when you hear this term raw all the time, I'd rather go with a guy that can be a ball hawk and get 6 picks, because that's one guy is not supposed to have 6 turnovers like for himself. Like here, quarterback, take the ball back. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's a real baller. Like that's a real baller to take the ball single-handedly from the other team all on your own.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen him in that playoff game against Bama. He held his own, and
he wasn't scared.
He wasn't scared. No, he wasn't, and he did very well in that game. So he's not going to be timid in the big games, and I think he will work for the Chiefs. You have Kobe Bryant on one end, and you have Snead on the other. I think that'll work out fine. Rashad Fenton is still here. I think Fenton is a good corner. It's just sometimes he gets a little grabby.
Yeah.
And in this era of the NFL, you're going to get flagged a lot by being grabby.
I think a lot of the times he's so eager to grab and press on the line of scrimmage is because his feet are a little slow. But you don't have to be the fastest guy to play football. Like it's a lot about the IQ, knowing your opponent, studying your film, and knowing their what's the word? I can't think of it right now. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of it. Is knowing their I can't think of the name right now.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, Fenton would have been a great corner. He'll grab and take the receiver out the play, and he wouldn't get flagged. Right. Yeah. He wouldn't get flagged back then, but the way the rules are now, the slightest touch is going to get flagged, and that's where he gets in the most trouble. Not necessarily a blown coverage or somebody beating him deep. It's more so with the grabbing. So he's still a good corner to me. So if you have 3 good corners,
it's a lot. That's good. That's good to build off of. And the word I was looking for was tendencies. Once you watch the film, that player across from you, he can go left or right, but it's tendencies once you watch the film, and that can keep his hands off. So maybe he just needs to get in the film room a little bit more. Maybe get a guy's inside release. Maybe, I'm not sure. Communicate with the safety a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, because a lot of times, especially the first game against the Bengals, he got called, I think it was 2 or 3 times for pass interference.
Pass interference.
And it's just like, and some of them now, one of them wasn't. I don't know what the ref was talking about on one of those, but the other 2, I was like, yeah.
It's such a momentum killer, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
To give him a fresh set of downs and the yards, it's like, oh man,
yeah,
such a momentum killer.
It is, especially. I remember one of those was when the Bengals went for it on 4th and goal from the 1, and if we would have stopped them, we would have went to overtime instead of them kicking the field goal. And it's like, gosh, dog, like why you have to hold? So, so Kobe Bryant is 1. David Ojabo, the other pass rusher from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He should still be there in the 2nd round because
Michigan had a good safety too. Daxton Hill, he was a good safety out of Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's him too. Yeah. Yeah. So Ojabo will still be there. So even if you wait for him on the 2nd day, and he's only there because of the ACL injury that he got.
Yeah, guys are coming back from those now, but like it does make you a little leery to spend an entire pick on that when you could be wrong. So
yeah,
but guys are coming back from those like better than ever.
Better than ever now, yeah. So the other player, I'm look him up real quick. The wide receiver from Bama, Jameson Williams. Now, this is interesting because his name has come up a lot on different
seems like he's visiting with everybody, ain't it?
Yeah, he's visiting with everybody. Yeah.
He's a popular guy right now.
Okay, so the Chiefs trading up in the draft is an option if they want to get Jameson Williams or if they want to get Chris Olave from the Ohio State.
Right.
So do you have a preference on either one of them? Because I feel like Olave is more of your
ready to play.
I mean, because of the injury that Williams has, he's ready to go now. But also, he's not as fast as Jameson Williams. So you're basically getting I don't want to call him a possession receiver. That when you say that, people think that you mean that the guy is slow or something. But,
right.
But Chris Olave isn't slow. But I mean, doesn't have. It's not a Tyreek Hill speed. It's not a Valdez Scanlon speed. So, do you have a preference on either one of those?
I'm leaning towards Olave, because I kind of like a thought out great route runner. There were great fast, speedy receivers that came along, but Jerry Rice is one of the best. He was never off of the charts fast. He just ran great routes, and he caught the ball when it came in his vicinity. And when I look at a guy that's not a speedster but can still get open, he's finding a way to get open. That's the route running. That's the precise, changing direction on a dime, the stop and go routes, the change of pace routes. He's using all of that stuff. And that's why I like him better as a receiver. But no slack off of
Jameson Williams.
Bama. Yeah, no slack off the guy from Bama. He reminds me of Moss. Like he reminds me of Moss the way he runs past people.
Yeah.
He's like what 180 soaking wet. Like
yeah.
He's fun to watch though. He's fun to watch. He shows that size really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Right. He's very slight when you look at him, but he's a beast.
He is. And when he was in Bama's offense, it was darn near. It was like, well, who you gonna double team? Because when
they look like a protein out there.
It was protein.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, who you gonna double? And then when he got injured, like I said, that really hurt Bama, especially in that championship game against Georgia when they didn't have him. So I'm looking at some of Jameson Williams' stats right now just to give the fans an idea. So this past year was his best year. So he had 1,500 yards receiving, 15 touchdowns. That's a solid.
Does it say how many first downs he had? Because he sounds like he's all over the place.
Doesn't say. It's his longest pass catch was 94 yards, but he was more of a downfield guy. So
yeah.
Now the thing is, where I can see where the Chiefs might be hesitant, he only had the one good season. In 20 and in 2019, he didn't do so much.
Yeah, but see, to me, that's not as big of a deal as some people can make it, because there is an adjustment phase when you go from each level, from junior high to high school to D2, D1. Like they're all different steps. Like even when you go to JUCO back to D1, there's just different steps. It's a step up. So if it takes him a season, because he was undersized anyway, even as a receiver. So if it takes him a half a season to get acclimated and find his feet and find his rhythm, that's normal to me. That's normal to me for somebody to need a half a season to find a rhythm. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about his the low production on that first season.
Okay. That was his. So this past year was Jameson Williams' junior year. He's 6'2", 189 pounds.
189, stretching it. He's about 175.
Maybe 160-ish, or yeah.
175. He's a beast, though. He's a wiry, lanky beast.
Yes, he is. And he had a very good season. So let's look at Chris Olave for just a second, and we'll try to compare here. So,
okay.
Chris Olave, he's a senior. Let's look at, because freshman year, not so much. So let's look at these last three. So in 19, 49 catches, 849 yards receiving, and 12 touchdowns. In 20, 50 catches, 729 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. And then last year, 65 catches, 936 yards receiving, and 13 touchdowns. When Ohio State was in a big game, the quarterback always looked to Chris Olave.
Heavily targeted.
Yes. He was their sure-handed guy. It's like, throw out the number 2. He's going to find a way. And I would like someone like that in this Chiefs offense. Not saying that they already don't have it, because, they have sure-handed guys now. But For somebody for Patrick Mahomes said, "Oh, Chris Olave right there. It's two people on him. So what? He's gonna find a way to get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna find a way to get the ball.
Pat need a small window. Like he's second to none when it comes to fitting that ball in there.
Yep. So I would not be mad at all if the Chiefs traded up to get Olave or Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They're both great players. I think they would work out in this offense very, very well.
Would you give up more than 2 picks?
Nah. They're both good. Olave, yeah. Olave, yeah, I would.
The two ones, or would you make it
for
bundle? 2 ones.
Yeah. So whoever is, and I would have to look at the draft order again to see, because these are top 10, top 15 picks. So let's look at the draft order here for just a second.
Who do the Chiefs have the great relationships with as far as the trades that we don't see coming, but they're like, they stay on the phone with certain teams? Who is that? Is it the Patriots? And another, is that the Patriots? It's another
Brett
couple
Leach has done deals with
the Colts.
Yeah, he's done them with the Colts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who he traded with to get Pat that year. I can't remember who was in that slot. It wasn't Chicago because they already picked Mitchell Trubisky before
trade up together
before Pat. So so the draft order is Jacksonville is 1, Detroit is 2, Houston is 3, Jets are 4th, Giants are 5th, Carolina is 6th. The Giants have that 7th pick from the Bears. Atlanta is 8th, Seattle is 9th, the Jets are 10th. So I would think Chris Olave you might have to trade with either the Jets or Houston because they're looking for wideouts. Giants too. So you're gonna have to.
Houston may trade.
Yeah, Houston may trade.
May allow it,
So if you can go up to 3 and get him, then great. That works out. Atlanta, they don't have a quarterback now with Matt Ryan gone, so maybe they look at a wideout or maybe they go quarterback, not sure. So yeah, the Chiefs might have to trade into the top 5 to get.
And even with those top 2 picks bundled up to trade, we could still get better through the draft.
Yeah, you can still,
we still got plenty of opportunities to get better through the draft.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if this is the only thing I don't want to happen. So the Chargers are 17th. I don't want Chris Olave to go to the Chargers.
No.
And I don't want James.
Not inside the division. Not inside the division.
Outside the division, yeah. So, and that's the thing. So
they up at the Chargers are up at 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, they're going to be looking for. I mean, they got Justin Jefferson, but you can never have, too many.
Who the Chargers have? Evans and who else they got over there?
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Okay, yeah, Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams. So I mean, they got guys. Chris Olave will be a great pick for them if he fell down to.
And the way the way the league is going, It's almost like some of these guys can just walk into the office and they'll get released that day without even knowing the day before. It's like they're just letting guys go, and the way they're picking guys up. I've never seen them shuffle in the deck like this in the NFL before.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Even like a month ago, I thought Tyreek Hill was safe here because he had a year on his contract. Usually when the guy had a year left, it was like, okay, they'll work something out. Even if the guy ends up sitting out for the spring training or whatever, or training camp, even if he sits out, they'll still work something out because there's a year left on the contract. There's so many guys now with a year left. They're like, hey, call my agent, tell him I want out. Just tell him I want out.
I want out.
And then when they move those guys, the guys that are, just barely keeping their job, those guys get released. And look at what happened to Honey Badger. Like, he still don't play for nobody.
Yeah, no one's picked him up.
He still don't play for nobody.
Picked him up, yeah.
And the Pack finally signed on OBJ.
The Rams out, they still haven't signed OBJ.
I thought so was it fake news when I seen he signed with the Packers?
I haven't heard nothing. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
It might have been clickbait. It might have been clickbait or fake news, but I was like, well, he do need somebody to throw to. He just got rid of
right, yeah, Valdez
just got rid of Stanton.
Yeah,
just got rid of MVS. So I'm like, he may need somebody.
Let me see, because I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was factual or not. They trip me out on the internet these days when they actually Photoshop faces on different uniforms. It's like,
uniforms,
okay, a little too far for the imagination.
He is not with the Packers.
Okay. So he's still out there too. Hopefully in therapy.
Yeah. So right. If the Chiefs want him, they can certainly get him.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what kind of trade that would need, but there are a lot of Chiefs fans from comments that I've seen. They want Brad Veach to focus more on the defensive side. They feel like the offensive side is fine.
Strong
on the defense.
Offense strong. Yeah.
Yeah. So my only question for Brett Veach, the only thing I've questioned him on so far is why haven't we re-signed Melvin Ingram yet?
I was about to ask you that. I was like,
we got the money for him now.
Last time I seen Ingram, he was in the studio making rap music. Surprisingly, he's not bad.
He's not bad. He's not bad.
So yeah, we got to get him back out there, because before I was watching the game one day, I hadn't heard about the Charger trade. I hadn't heard about that yet. And I'm like, who's number 24? Like, he's moving quick. He's a big guy in a small number. I'm like, who is that? Then I finally was like, okay, that's Ingram from the Chargers. Like, from the first time I seen him in red and white, I was like, that guy's a baller, and he should be here as long as we can have him.
Yeah,
as long as we can have him. He's fearless. He's like a fearless guy, and he's a stand-up guy. He's like he's a man's man. He's a man's man.
He's a man's man for sure. And they make a great linebacker tandem, Melvin Ingram and Nick Bolton. Those are two really good linebackers.
Yeah, skillful, strong.
And Nick Bolton,
they got a dog mentality, like, you know what I'm saying?
Nick Bolton did all that as a rookie. So now just imagine what he's going to do this season in his second year.
Hopefully he can bring us some of what Derek Johnson brought to Kansas City. Hopefully he can bring us some of that.
I hope. I hope so.
Just a little bit of it.
Just a little bit. And if I'm Brad Veach, you got to get on signing Melvin Ingram. You can't let him.
You can't leave him out there, because he'll wind up in the AFC.
Yeah, he'll not go to the Dolphins. He'll not go to the Dolphins. He'll go there with Tyreek.
Yeah.
Down the
The
dog.
weather, they'll take a pay cut to go for that weather. I mean, Tyreek didn't have to take a pay cut because of his situation, but other guys, they'll take a pay cut to go to Miami.
Yeah.
They'll take a pay cut to go there. But yeah, I was wondering, he's a vital part. When I talk about the Chiefs defense, I speak about him as if Ingram is still a part of the squad. Like when I speak highly of our defense, he's partly because of it. You know, we got Chris Jones and other people, but I was really counting on him. Like we got to get that deal done.
Yeah,
It's
got to.
starting to sound like Tyreek's situation again.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna sign him? Well, he's visiting with so and so team, and he's visiting with this team. It's like I don't need him visiting with nobody. He needs to
he needs to be here.
Get back here.
Yeah. Yeah, Melvin Ingram needs to stay here. Hopefully, Brad Veach gets that done.
Mm-hmm. He got something up his sleeve. He just can't get in front of the camera. Kind of like Belichick. He's not gonna tell you all his moves. He's gonna kind of let you see it play out. So Veach's interviews are good, but he's not gonna tell you nothing that he got planned. He's not gonna tell us nothing. But hopefully he gets that deal done. We definitely need that 260 pounds up front. We definitely need it.
Yeah, we definitely need it for sure. Andre said, "I'll cry if y'all get Deebo." Real tears. Look, if we get him,
we'll pitch in and send him a jersey, Deebo Chiefs jersey.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yes. From Red Kingdom. We'll get it. We'll hook Andre up with a Deebo jersey. It's if that did happen, I don't see how the Chiefs aren't the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
everybody wants to go play for a winner too. So
exactly.
When Deebo sees that list of contenders, his eyes go towards the Chiefs twice.
Yep.
Now he might feel like, well, I don't want to play in the snow. They don't have a covered stadium. But then he's thinking like, well, they're perennial winners. So you just kind of want to go where they win in there. You don't want to go to some bargain basement team where, you know what I'm saying, end up like Barry Sanders breaking records with no chance of the playoffs.
Exactly.
Players are afraid to go out like that now.
Yeah.
Kind of,
yeah, they're trying to win now, and out of the contending teams, okay, Packers, because Aaron Rodgers can never get it done when it's playoff time. I don't think Deebo wants to go there. Rams, yeah, but then you have to play San Francisco twice. So, or maybe he wants to play San Francisco twice a year for letting him go. I mean, so the Rams could be a spot for him. But other than the Rams and the Chiefs, I don't see too many other teams where Deebo was just like, oh, I'm going to go here and we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah. I mean, those are the only two options I can think, unless now this wouldn't be fair if he did this, but if he goes down to Tampa, then we're all
they make things happen for Brady.
Yeah.
So that could happen.
So Andre, if Deebo goes to Tampa, we will all cry some tears.
Right.
Because that's not fair. That's not fair at all if he goes down there. So Andre had a question. Do y'all expect a big year from Nicole? RJ, I'll let you answer that one first.
I feel like more of the same for him. More of the same. He's good. He's quality. He knows the offense. So I believe he's the mainstay for right now. Like he is the Chiefs receiver. The other guys they haven't really stepped out in between the lines as a Chief yet. So yeah, I think McCole he's gonna set himself apart this year from his old numbers. Now, will he be better than the other guys on the team? That's hard to say, but he'll be better than his previous self last year. He's still getting better. I think McCole Hardman is still getting better. So that's what I think about that.
McCole had a pretty good year last season. I expect for him to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I need for him. The only thing I want from McCole Hardman, I want him to run better routes. I'm not saying he's a bad route runner.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's kind of like a Tyreek Hill thing where you're so used to freestyling and doing whatever to get open, so you forget like that this is the post,
Yeah.
this is the corner route.
Yeah, the route tree.
Yeah. Like you gotta be right here, or else if the corner is there and Pat is expecting for you to be right here, then it turns into a pick. And so those little things, I think he's going to work on that during the off season training camp. I want him to get 800 or 900 yards receiving this year. I don't think that's too much to ask for. He's still going to run his jet sweeps and trick plays and all those things that Andy Reid and Bieniemy like to do for him.
Yeah.
I just want him a little bit better on the routes and more solid with catching, because he had some drops also.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was telling people about Tyreek Hill as well.
Mm-hmm.
About Mahomes. I'm like, well, Tyreek's dropped some balls too. He dropped some balls here.
Big ones.
All our receivers drop some catchable balls at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And what you say about route running, that is so important, because you got 53 and a half yards side to side. You got 100 yards this way. 11 guys against 11 guys.
Mm-hmm.
When that route tree is made so that you can divert that defender's his weight is supposed to shift on his feet. So if you're running sloppy, loose routes, you're making it easy on the D-back, because the D-back is basically a receiver in mirror reflection.
Mm-hmm.
So a D-back has to be so athletic, because he's doing everything that wide receivers doing backwards though.
Backwards.
Backpedaling the same route. Yep. So if you're running a sloppy, loose route, you're making it so much easier on the D-back's knee joints, ankle joints. If you run precise routes, you got to work then. You got to work. Right. And you don't have to be 4'3", 4'2" to be a good receiver. You just got to stick those points and stick these points. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he can get Pat got him out there in the he got them all out there catching balls, and I'm sure they're working on route preciseness and cutting on those dimes. But yeah, if he could figure that out, he could have a breakout season, because one of our receivers is going to have a huge breakout year.
Yeah, one of them is. Yeah,
they're going to be open unexpectedly. They're going to be like, "Wow, I'm open! Like I'm open."
Yeah,
somebody's going to have a huge year, and it could very well be him, because he's the forgotten about guy.
Yeah, he is. Hardman is the one that people do forget.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's going to have some chances in these games. Last year he had 59 catches, 693 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. So if he gets 800 yards this year receiving, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
8 to 850, 900, that's good. So
no drops, no right. Tipping the ball to the other team on accident.
Don't tip it. Yeah, Boy, it was a lot of that the first 7 games.
Some stuff like that doesn't show up in the stat sheet really. It just shows up as a drop or whatever. But it's like, okay,
Yeah. Can't no drops on third down. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. So yeah, that would be nice, Andre. MVS, Deebo, Miko, and Kelsey. Yes. Sign me up for that.
Look all pro, don't it?
Oh yeah. All right, it's nice. So what do y'all have to say to fans saying the Chiefs will be last in the division? I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that. Oh, my bad. So, that's crazy. Okay. Let's look.
They must be talking about they pulled up at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, they put up, yeah. Yeah, we're talking about the Royals? No, we're talking about the Royals. No. Okay. What I always say is let's look at the coaches and the quarterbacks. Everybody has a really good to great quarterback in the AFC West. Okay. Now let's run down the coaches. Denver with Hackett. We don't know what he's going to be like. Oakland. Oh, Lord. I keep saying Oakland. Las Vegas with who's their coach now? I forget who the Raiders coach is right now. But that's not going to be a factor. And then McDaniels. Thank you, Andre. Josh McDaniels, a failed at being a head coach in Denver. He had Kyle Orton, so let's take that with a grain of salt. But he will make the Raiders offense good, but still in those situations, whether it's clock management, do we go for it on fourth down? I have to see Josh McDaniels and how he works in those type of situations before I can say, he can hang with, Andy. So is Josh McDaniels better than what the Raiders have had in the past as head coaches? Yeah. I'll go ahead and give him that. But still, those situations in game, we'll see how he does. And let's not even talk about the Chargers coach, Andre. I'm on him right now. Brandon Staley doesn't know when to kick a field goal, doesn't know when to punt, doesn't know it can be 4th and goal at the 2. You want to go for it.
How'd he get his job?
He believes in the analytics and all that stuff, and that's what's going to get him in trouble. That's why I say the Chargers are a very good team. I don't believe in their coach. I still feel like he'll do the same things he did when we beat them in their house.
Back to those tendencies.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 2 at the 3, and he's still gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna go for it. This is what we do." And it's like, well, you don't need to do that. Like, so the Chiefs have the best coach in the AFC West. When the Patriots were doing their thing, yes, I'm comparing this Chiefs potential dynasty to the Patriots, yes. Because it's very similar. So when they dominated for 20 years, they always had the best quarterback and they had the best head coach.
Hands down.
Yeah, the AFC East teams, they weren't all that good and they were average and da-da-da. But still, they had the best coach and the best quarterback. And the years when teams were good, where Miami was good for a season or two, or the Jets were good for a season or two, they still couldn't beat the Patriots because they had Bill Belichick, they had Tom Brady. And now in the AFC West, I feel like what people are going to find out is the Chiefs are always going to be hard to beat because they have Patrick Mahomes and they have Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be last. Now, if you want to say, hey, they're going to lose the division by one game to the Raiders or whoever you want to pick, okay, fine. We'll be the wild card and we'll see how it goes.
Right.
But to be last, no, they're not going to be last. I'll tell you, okay, I will say this right now. The Denver Broncos will be last.
Yeah. The other AFC West teams got good. They got better. See, we were talking about who got better.
Mm-hmm.
The other AFC teams got better, but they didn't improve past the Chiefs.
That's right.
They may have improved up to their heels, maybe neck to neck, but they didn't improve past them. Off-season acquisition can make you better than the number one team until you play that team and beat them.
Exactly. So it's a lot of paper champions. Everybody created a super team to beat the Chiefs. So we'll see how it plays out. I'll be interested. I will be looking to see what the other teams in the division do as far as the draft and who they draft and things of that nature. I really don't know how people doubt Mahomes. I don't either, Andre.
Yeah.
It's funny how, and I know we're coming up on time, but I wanted to say this real quick. It's funny how when Mahomes lost to Joe Burrow the 2 times, if you want to say the playoff game was his fault, okay. But how can Joe Burrow and Josh Allen be better than Patrick Mahomes? When he's won a Super Bowl, been to another one, and he was a league MVP.
Those other guys have to survive 5-6 seasons in the league first.
Right.
Not even. I mean, any given Sunday goes both ways. Like,
yeah, it goes both ways. Yeah.
You have to make it 5 years in, 6 years in. That's not a given in the NFL.
All right, exactly.
Not a given.
So, to me, look, if somebody wants to say because Tom Brady is back now, hey, Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the league, fine. He's won it 7 times. I'm not going to argue that. But Patrick Mahomes, in my eyes, not just saying it as a fan, he's not that far off from Tom Brady. As of right now, the old Tom Brady.
Tom is he's on a slight decline, but at some point when he walks into that locker room and steps out on that field, he's going to be on a sharp decline because you can't beat Father Time. So at one point, like he's declining now slowly, but at some point he's going to drop off. And Mahomes is still going up.
He's still going up.
Mahomes is still going up. So that's how I look at that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's going to fall off a cliff one day. Like one day.
One day it's going to happen.
I mean, he won't even see it coming. He won't even see it coming. He'll just get out there one day and every throw will be a pick. He'll get out there one day. He'll realize it in an off-season workout. Like, I don't have it no more. He'll realize it one day. He'll just fall off a cliff one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how it happens, especially with the great players in any sport. I mean, was Michael Jordan the same with the Wizards when he was with the Bulls? Like, no. So
he was efficient, but no.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same. Yeah,
he was 20 points a game, but it wasn't as high flying, wasn't as flashy.
Exactly.
And it wasn't 30 a game like he used to get.
Exactly. So same thing here. It might happen this season for Tom Brady, where that decline does happen. Andre asks, do y'all think it's just, I'm thinking he's trying to mean recent or regent bias with all these big free agency signings?
It's a new trend in the NFL for sure. It's a new trend where it's like, I like it, I buy it. It used to be like, let's work with what we got. Let's wait for the draft. Let's make a couple of trades. Now it's like I said, they're snatching guys that got 1 year on the contract left. Snatching those guys up.
Yeah, it's different. The NFL has never really done the super team thing. That's been more last few years. So seeing Buffalo get Von Miller, and then the Chargers get Khalil Mack, and the Raiders get Devontae Adams. It's just like, and these were all in the AFC.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Rams or Packers or teams in the NFC were getting all these signings. Then I would kind of be like, well, they're trying to compete with the Rams, or they're trying to, Brady's back, they're trying to compete with them. It seemed like the AFC teams wanted to build super teams to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's just what it seemed like, because the NFC teams weren't doing it. And we'll see if this super team thing works. I'm of the feeling of it doesn't matter, because the Chiefs have a system now where this is how I feel about their offense, and we'll see how their defense goes this season. Anybody can come in this Chiefs offense. They're going to do good. They may not be a superstar. Let's think of somebody like what's his name? McKinnon last year.
Okay.
We got McKinnon as a free agent from San Fran. He played for San Fran for a couple seasons. Jeremy McKinnon wasn't some well-known, back. He was just another guy. He was there. Okay, you're here to back up Clyde. If he goes down, then we'll use you. And so, and especially late in the season, and the Chiefs got on their playoff run, it was Patrick Mahomes. His safety valve was Jeremy McKinnon. And if you rewatch that playoff game against the Bills, on those drives, McKinnon is either picking up yards on first down, but catching the ball out of the backfield, or a big pickup on a third down play. Jeremy McKinnon had some big play on those drives, those touchdown drives.
Yeah.
And nobody will talk about it because he didn't get a 70-yard touchdown, and he didn't jump over anybody or do anything flashy.
He's a decent blocker too.
Yeah, and he was.
He got good chips on the D ends and D tackles getting in the backfield.
Yeah.
Good backside chip blocks.
Yeah. So Jerry McKinnon worked great with Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like whoever they get, Patrick Mahomes is going to make that person better. And it doesn't matter what kind of super team you have. the thing with the super teams is you still got to learn how to play together.
Yeah.
I know that Carr and Devontae Adams do have a history. They did play together in college. But then again, that was college, and this is now.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, everybody, that the AFC West is still the Chiefs' division to lose.
Gotta come through here to get it.
You gotta come through Arrowhead.
Here to get it.
Gotta come through. We've done it the past 6 straight seasons. So hopefully we can add number 7 to that. But that'll do it for this episode of Red Kingdom. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the comments. Andre, shout out to you. Thanks for watching and dropping in and commenting with us. And we will be with you guys again next Saturday for another episode. The draft will still be going on.
Mm-hmm.
It'll still be going. I think it goes on until Sunday, I believe. So we'll talk about. So next week is the fun show, because now now we talk about the picks that the Chiefs had. So and who's going to be coming on the team for the 2022 season. So look forward to that. For my co-host RJ, I am Greg, and we will see y'all next Saturday.
Well, we can.
Enjoy, guys.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the